Hello, everyone. Welcome into another week of GDQ Hot Fix shows. This is going to be another episode of Game Over. I am your host, Regal. Game Over is a show where we like to put on speedruns for games that are either known for their high level of difficulty or games that are being played on a higher difficulty level than normal, or sometimes a little bit of a self-imposed challenge just to make things interesting. Tonight, we have three really great runs from three really great speedrunners. We are going to, first up, have a Sekiro all bosses and mini bosses run by a returning runner, Spacey L1. That's going to be up first. I'm really excited for that one. And then we have two runs afterwards. The first of the subsequent runs is going to be Cuphead by Grandius. And then we're going to have a special Golden Berries run by Carrarium of Celeste. So look forward to all those runs coming up. But as I said, first we're going to have Sekiro run by a runner that has been on the show before. It's going to be our first time having a runner that has come on for the second time. So I'm excited to have them back. Spacey, do you want to introduce yourself and the run for us?
Yeah, hey, I'm Spacey L1. Been running this game basically since it came out. Had record in a few different categories over my years running this. But I've always been an all bosses cultist, even in the other FromSoft games. So this is definitely my preferred category. And then joining me on commentary, we have, of course, the great Counter Kitty. She's a longtime Souls runner and great streamer. And then we also have Regal here. Yeah, obviously hosting the show, but he is himself a very accomplished Souls runner. But
yes, not for this game, but yes.
Yeah, but a little bit too big to fit on my desk, so we won't be seeing him today. I will go ahead and start and count us in. We will start time in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
So first off, we have to do this little tutorial section. We don't have our sword at the beginning, and as everyone knows, if you don't have a sword, you can't actually run. So we just kind of have to hop here. It's hopping or walking, and hopping is faster. There's a somewhat annoying thing now where you actually hop faster if you're locked on. So I'm going to be trying to lock onto these enemies and hop past them without getting hit here. There you go. Sometimes that guy's cycle's bad and you just get shot, but it's the beginning, so... We're just sneaking our way through here, because this section's meant to teach you how to stealth through here, so we gotta stealth past all these guards as they're doing unrelated firing practice. That's got nothing to do with us.
Very stealthy.
Do you think this is authentic to this era?
Like firing randomly? I think so, yeah.
Okay.
No, that's so this game is like a late Sengoku period, so Japanese Civil War. There we go. Okay. They fudged the timeline a little bit, but a lot of the stuff is pretty accurate. Yeah, we just did there a glitch grapple. That's the only place we're going to do that glitch grapple, because we don't actually have our grapple arm yet, but fortunately we are Spider-Man, so we don't actually need our grappling hook to grapple. Then we'll kill our first mini-boss here.
I feel like things already look different from the last time I saw a Sekiro run.
Yeah, the hopping is different. There's some cool stuff in this route. Some new tech that mostly KK is going to be explaining because I need to focus on it. But how long has it been for you, Regal, since you saw?
I honestly, probably the last time you were on, but that was also a glitchless run. So, actually seeing a full, fully glitched all bosses, mini bosses run, it's been a long time. Like maybe a year or two.
I didn't think I knew that you had done a glitchless, Spacey.
Well, it was a challenge run.
Yeah,
basically that did glitchless. It was honestly like glitchless plus.
That was a very hard run. It was like really max difficulty, just about that you could do for this game, without throwing anything like ridiculous out there. But it was a tough run, and Spacey did that for my second show.
Well, and so you're going to see here the next mini boss that we come up to. We're going to be doing a technique called dead angling, which means that we're going to be like kind of starting our attacks in one direction and then finishing them, like moving towards the boss at the very end of them, so that the boss doesn't like block or parry us. So in the challenge run that I did, I also didn't do dead angles, but dead angles and those kind of like corner cheeses are actually allowed in glitchless. So that's why I say it was like...
It was like full honor mode. Like max, new game. It was with the... what's the other difficulty modifiers that are in this
Demon
game?
Bell and No Charm.
Yeah, and full honor mode glitchless. Like, yeah, all bosses. It was funny. And a cool run.
But yeah, so we do this instead here. So there's certain attacks where he has hyper armor like that where I am going to have to hit him, but mostly this is what we're going to be trying to do, at least in early game. We get stronger tools later. But in early game, it's just like, don't let the bosses parry you, because when they parry you, they take 25% of the posture damage they would take otherwise, and you also can't finish them off by hitting them when they parry you. The same thing actually applies to the your character, is if you parry every hit, you can't get posture broken, even if your posture's full. So like the boss and like you have like very similar mechanics, but as long as you just don't miss your parries, you don't really have to worry about your own posture from a speedrun perspective. And now we're coming up to Ogre here. So we just got a stealth sugar there. We got 3 of them, actually. We're not going to use one here, though. So we're going to do Goshenless Ogre. And Goshenless Ogre is kind of finicky. So I'm going to take a very specific route here. I don't want that guy to see me. And then I have to kind of jump off to the side. So that Ogre doesn't see me. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. Didn't quite get the angle right on that. So we quit out and we try again. The early game is like really tough in like the current route as well. I guess this stuff isn't like super new now, but like
pretty much every Sekiro run I've seen has a really hard early game.
Yeah, it do be like that in this game, definitely. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Looks so good.
And now I'm just like circling around him and hitting him. Ogre's like a weird boss. I don't think Ogre's a very good tutorial boss. Like, he's kind of just meant to teach you about grabs, but it's like, it's weird to have your first boss of this game, or like kind of your first mandatory boss, be a boss where you don't really want to parry him at all. Because like, even casually, you don't really want to parry Ogre that much. There's not much point. So it's weird, because the rest of the game you want to be parrying, but him you just kind of fight like a Souls boss almost.
I don't remember if this was just because I was bad or not, but I remembered him having some like really terrible hitboxes.
His grab hitbox is weird. It extends really far, like to the side in front of him, but it doesn't go out very much. And so here, this is like, we don't have a corner to cheese him, so we're kind of like, we got to do these 180 dead angles. We'll talk about them more later, but these are like kind of the next level. There's like corner dead angles that are pretty easy once you get them into the corner, and then those 180s are harder.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. We got good guard pattern there. So there we like ran in a certain way that we like deliberately baited the guard into firing there. And then because he fires, it distracts the other guards and makes them run away, and then that gives us some space to fight the mini boss there. I'm gonna try the hardest skip in the game right now.
Ooh.
No, okay, that's fine.
Nope.
So I attempted to do what's called a late jump there. There are these invisible walls that kind of prevent you from like walking off of ledges, but you can like run off of them or jump off of them. So what we need to do there is we need to like kind of be running and then time our jump like perfectly as we're going through that invisible wall, so that we do like kind of a coyote run and we get like a lot of extra distance. You'll see them later because there are some places where you can do late jumps where there aren't those invisible walls like the next one here, and that makes them a lot easier.
I liked the absolute lack of acknowledgement of the snake.
Oh yeah, there's a snake. Say hi to the snake, everybody.
Hi, snake. Bye, snake.
There we go. Oh yeah, I see some questions in chat. So the first Genny fight, the tutorial fight, the ruling is that we're allowed to die to that to advance. Because it doesn't really change the game state at all, like whether you win or lose. Like, you don't get any item for beating him anyway. And then I also kind of heard that Dan, the person who made this category, also just like didn't think about it until he already had routed and planned everything. So that's the other reason.
Yep. Shout out to Dan Flesh. This category didn't exist for a while until Dan kind of created it.
Yeah, until he proved it wasn't terrible. Yeah. Like, honestly, like at the very beginning, none of us wanted to fight the Headless. That was like the big thing.
Yeah. So the longer like category for this game was like all memories for a while, which has its own like memes with it.
And then there was all beads as well.
Yeah, true.
They did both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to do a quote-unquote easier dead angle here, but... Oh yeah, there we go. I'm trying to do a very fast version of it where you have to like buffer your sprint out of your turnaround to minimize how much time you need to set it up. But I messed it up the first time, but that's okay.
Oh, interesting. I thought what was going on there was that late, like kind of wily coyote thing that you described earlier.
Yeah, it is. That's a late jump, yeah. Oh. It's just about like getting a late jump. That's really good RNG as well. Wow.
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, and then so we get out of the arena. Gyobu can't run out of the arena normally, like when you're in there, like there's a wall that stops him. But if you're out of the arena and he's trying to path to you, it will let him run off. So he just runs himself off the edge. Now we got Bull. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Dodge back, parry. 1, 2, back, dodge, parry. 2, 3, 4. And then I need to kill him by the wall here. Because I'm finishing what's called an aggro chain here. Like so. So I need to be hugging the wall. Hug your walls, everybody. And so that prevents the game from saving my grounded position. It is still saving my progress, so the boss is dead. But in this game, if you have aggro on you, the game won't save your position. So we can use that to do what we call aggro chains here. So when I load back in, I warp back before Gyobu because I made sure that I had aggro on me the whole way, which will let me go talk to Ishin here, which is required to actually finish the main story. There are glitches that'll let you skip this, but like then it breaks other things. And since we need to not just finish the game, but kill everything, we can't be glitching our way past this. So we warp back this way.
Yeah, I remember you had like an idea for why that was in the game, the aggro chains.
Yeah, the stealth death blow system that we've used a few times where you can stealthily instant kill like enemies and mini bosses would be absolutely broken in this game if you could just like walk up behind where an enemy spawn is, quit out, and then load back in with them stealthy. There's actually a few places where we managed to do that anyway. Spoilers, but...
Yeah, they didn't bring the same thing to Elden Ring, so I think that clearly they just cared about that one specific mechanic. For quitting out.
Yeah. They just saw that interaction and they were like, oh.
But it creates other things that you can abuse from it. It's like From Software can't exactly escape like how broken quitting out of the game is in their games.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
It's an interesting fix because in Dark Souls 2 they just removed the enemy's resetting point when you quit out, and honestly that sucked.
Yeah,
I guess Dark Souls 2 is the only one where they really like people don't really quit out in Dark Souls 2. Like,
they really punish it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is a perfect game.
Yeah, KK is a big Dark Souls 2 runner, especially. She's run like all the actual Souls games, but especially DS2, and I just, whenever I'm watching her and she'll like, on the rare occasions where like she'll fall off or something and die, and it's like, oh, the run's dead because I fell, and it's like, in any other Souls game, that would have been like a 2-second time loss. I'm so sorry for you, KK.
Yeah. Dude, the thing is, I always automatically try and quit out.
I'm a Dark Souls 3 runner, quitting out, or like, at least that's where I started, so. Quitting out is always my impulse. I remember one time I got a donation from somebody that surprised me, and I instantly quit out the game because I was startled, and that was my learned response to quit the game. And then there's another dead angle there. We just kind of push him into the corner. So that's like you kind of freeform dead angle him until you get him into the corner, and then you can just kind of corner cheese to finish him off.
Was that a lizard you just ran past?
It is a lizard. Wow. Do you know things about lizards, KK?
Oh, jeez. I might know a couple things. Did you know that Komodo dragon's teeth are not only coated in venom, but the serrated edge also has a coating of iron?
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And now we're coming up to the first Snake Eyes fight, which snakes are not lizards, but KK knows about this fight as well, so she's going to explain this while I try to do it.
I do. So Space is going to drop onto this little statue's head up here, and then specifically onto a little rust spot on the ground, which causes the fog gunman to go into yellow alert, but stabbing the boss will also cause that gunman to de-aggro on his own. Then, as you can see right now, he's doing a specific dead angle where he lets Snake Eyes block him once, then turning away so he gets that second hit on her, while also pushing her back towards the wall so she doesn't jump away. All of this is basically to minimize how often she grabs, which...
that was a weird angle. I ended up on the wrong side of her.
Was that the grab?
Yeah, I messed up the parry to the grab. That's what the grab looks like when it kills you.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, don't make that mistake specifically very often. Because I know the timing for it. But,
yeah, all of this is basically just to minimize the grabs because obviously they're quite slow. So lucky audience for getting to see that. And she typically always does the grabs at the beginning of the fight. So
it took forever for you to die there.
It's
grab animation.
Yeah, a lot of the grabs are that way.
Yeah.
Like normally you don't think about that much when you're running like Souls games and you just die and it's over, but like yeah, in this game where it's like you can die, well, it depends on your time obviously and like how far ahead you are, but sometimes you can die and then still continue. But then you're just like, man, why did I die to the thing that has the slowest death animation imaginable? And that grab is one of them. The drunkard grab is the other one. Like if you happen to die to the drunkard grab, it's just like takes forever for you to die. Run past the chicken.
Is that potentially like to give you extra time to respawn if you want to, or is it just like that?
It won't let you respawn any sooner, or like I don't know. It won't let you make a decision. I think they're just mean.
Okay. Yeah, that checks out, I guess.
It's like in the case of Drunkard, like Drunkard has like a whole animation thing that he does after you're dead to the grab. So maybe they just wanted you to watch that, but like Snake Eyes doesn't really. They just
I kind of love that day.
Yeah, he kind of styles on you a little bit. Super rude. Oh, this is Miss Noble. You're not supposed to be able to parkour up there like that, but yeah, we do. You just jump on that little tree branch. The collision of it is kind of weird, but it's not too bad. You just want to jump towards the base of the branch, and then you can just hop up there. You're supposed to have to take a side path over to the left, where there is another mini-boss, so we will go back there later, but not now. Then we can cancel fall damage with grapples like that. One of the ways we have of canceling fall damage. Running past all these guys.
So why are you coming down here now, but not doing everything that you can do down here?
A couple reasons. It works out really well for routing. We have a way to insta-kill this boss no matter how much attack power we have. So if you don't do the insta-kill, this boss at this attack power takes like a long time. I've done it like casually, but we have like no tools. But there's a bunch of Yasha sugars that we get down here, which are a damage buff sugar that buffs your damage by 25%, but cuts your maximum health in half. Those are really, really strong, so we want to come down here and get a lot of those, because there aren't very many in early game. There's plenty you have access to in late game, but not in early game. So that's one reason the routing works really well, and then also you get the ability to swim from this boss, so... And swimming is kind of a powerful movement tool, as we will see
it'd be
later.
Great if you were able to do that like outside of the water.
That sounds insane to me, but if you say so.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, so we're entering the arena from the side here so she doesn't see us. 1, 2. Okay, we're stealthing up behind her. She still doesn't know we're here. Being very stealthy right now. Pop one more. And then Deathblow from above here. Yeah, so she's like scripted to walk over there. She'll only aggro if she actually turns to see you, and until she does her initial animation, she doesn't like respond to any sounds. So as long as you don't damage her or like get in her line of sight, like her vision cone, she won't aggro. And so we use things that don't do damage to her, but will push her backwards. And that is what lets us push her back far enough that we can hop off of that pillar there, which lets us do a death blow from above. And so this boss, you're not supposed to be able to stealth death blow this boss, but there's another boss later that has an intended stealth death blow as like a mid-fight phase skip. that shares a model with this boss, and so that's why that's a thing we can do here.
I'm excited to see you fight the later version of her because it always looks so cool in the speedrun.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I do like that fight.
Is
right.
that strat that you just did like particularly difficult? Or...
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I tried to
Should've said
do
yes.
that. I tried to do it in a casual playthrough and messed it up completely. So
It must be really hard. Good job.
yeah,
Stacey.
it's hard. Well,
So
no,
there's-
if you practice it, it's probably not that bad.
So the thing is, there's a version of the skip that's hard. Like doing it with the perfect amount of items
Yeah.
can be kind of difficult. But like casually, you can use firecrackers, snap seeds, and ash. So if you have like 10 ash and you've got like all your firecrackers and you've got your 3 snap seeds, like it's pretty, like you really don't have to be careful at all. Just like make sure you don't aggro her. You can let her walk all the way forward. You don't have to time anything. You can just spam those at her and you will eventually push her back enough. So this is the corner that Genny yearned for.
He yearns for this corner.
He loves the corner.
Yes. You also got up here in a very interesting way. I might have to add, but you could probably
You think?
you could probably talk about that a little more. I think you might do that once more in this run at least.
We might see the Genny hole a few more times, yeah, as I call it.
I don't think you should call it that.
Maybe you're right, I'm on thin ice here. But so he's going to teleport himself out of his corner. He no longer yearns for it. So we're going to Yasha and then turn around, which makes him do that, but he misses, lol. Lightning, okay. That's good RNG. Give me one more, buddy. No? Alright, that's fine. And also, notably, we don't have Makiri here, so I'm going to try to actually avoid putting him in situations where he might thrust. So that's why I'm avoiding that one there. If you have Makiri, you get a lot of damage off of Makiri. He was about to do another lightning there, but he didn't, so... I mean, it was too late anyway. We didn't need it, but yeah, that's skinny.
Nice. If you have the time, I think explaining what a Makiri is might be helpful for some people.
Oh, yeah. So there are certain attacks that can't be blocked, as the game says. Now, notably, sometimes attacks that can't be blocked can still be parried if you, like, time it. So it's misleading. It's kind of hard to understand. But, yeah, attacks with those red symbols, there are 3 different kinds. There are grabs, which maybe you can parry, maybe you can't. It weirdly depends on the grab. And then there are thrusting attacks, which you can parry, but you can't like hold block. And then there are sweeps, which you can't. You can neither block nor parry sweeps. You're supposed to jump over them, basically. You also cannot iframe through those attacks with normal iframes. Now there are some exceptions, like things that give you, like essentially intangibility. You could think of where things like attack, like pass through you. It's like mechanically different from invulnerability. It's hard to explain, but it usually doesn't come up though.
When I played this game more recently, I really, really enjoyed it. The first time I played it, I kind of found some of these systems a little confusing. And now that you're explaining it, I can see why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. So, but yeah, so like when you get knocked down and you can roll on the ground, the game calls it a safety roll in the loading screens. That roll will let you go through sweeps, which doesn't make any sense. Because, you're on the ground, the sweep is on the ground, but you can safety roll through sweeps. So safety rolls clearly give you something like intangibility, basically, where literally nothing can hurt you. Like, it's interesting. It doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That is actually interesting.
It's very strange mechanically. There's some other... Oh, I forgot that's a thing.
Oh, what?
I've seen this before. That has happened before.
I've never
I canceled
seen
his dialogue. Yeah.
Oh, and that just naturally, I see.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So that wasn't that wasn't a this has never happened.
Never happened before. Yeah.
Okay. All right. False alarm.
Shout out to Foo's old show, actually. Out of Bounds. I was on that show too. I didn't know about that glitch when I was on her show though, or I would have shown that one too. But good times. Anyway, I guess now we can acknowledge the swimming. So this game has air swimming in it. It works the way that air swimming works in like a lot of different games. Instead of coding like 3D volumes of water they found it much easier to have these like planes that they place over like enclosed spaces. And so if you go down through the plane, you're put into swim state. If you go up through the plane, you're taken out of swim state. So by going down through these planes out of bounds, we can trigger our swim state without being trapped in our little cage where we're supposed to be to swim around. And that lets us just kind of carry our air swim wherever. Now, the game doesn't like that we do this. You hear people on marathons sometimes, they talk about the game getting confused. Well, this game gets angry. When you air swim. If you
It gets very mad.
gets very angry. If you carry an air swim to a load zone where you didn't get your air swim as far as the game is concerned, it will instantly kill you through your like revives and everything. You just die. It's a huge jump scare, actually, when it happens. You're not used to being able to go from 0 to full dead in this game, but that will do it. So what we have to do is we have to do things like that where we like surface out of bounds and then go back down through, or we like find specific collision in between where we can quit out and then reload, and that will tell the game we got our swim spot. Like, it'll reset our swim spot, basically, so that the game does not get displeased with us. There we go. But that's basically the intended way. You're supposed to bait him off the edge, and we got him off the edge, so, you know, same thing. But we just kind of do it swim by. So yeah, air swimming in this run doesn't save as much time as you would think. Like, in the any percent categories, you can break a lot of stuff with air swim, but we have to fight everything anyway. So a lot of our air swims, we're saving like literally a few seconds over like the glitchless route.
I think they're pretty cool. Like,
yeah, I like them.
Really, really cool.
Here's a giraffe. Don't worry about it.
Aw.
Yeah, that's definitely a giraffe. This is what the petting zoo, as you called it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the giraffe, all the giraffe and the little giraffes.
Aw, you're killing it in front of its children.
Yeah,
Actually, it says it's a centipede up in the top left, so I'm very
Well,
skeptical.
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing another little aggro chain here. Got to warp ourselves out of the petting zoo, as it were. And now we're gonna do monkeys, and I'm gonna go for like a really difficult. Monkeys aren't hard. Like, they trip people up first playthrough when they don't know what they're doing, but they're really not that difficult in the run, depending on the strat you do. But we're gonna do the really hard strat that saves like 2 seconds. So I will be focusing on that. Yeah, I will be focusing on that, and KK will be explaining it once we get up to the door here, so that I can try and get the double bump.
So a little precast stuff for people who haven't played this game. The monkeys are a bit of a like puzzle boss. There's 4 of them, and they're each meant to represent like a hear no evil, speak no evil, do no evil kind of thing. So the monkeys themselves, they're not dangerous, but they're a little finicky. So Spacey is gonna immediately spawn in this arena and kill the white monkey, which is behind him, always, because he always starts there. And then he's going to run at a specific angle, jump at a board, and then to R1s and buff a grapple out of that to get the exact position he needs. And timing another grapple right as the orange monkey starts moving. And if lined up and timed correctly, the second grapple will bonk and stun both the monkeys here. I believe we got that, so good job. And then we want to shuriken this final purple monkey. And he only takes that kind of damage in this specific room, so we're gonna chase him there and then kill him. Was that perfect?
Nice.
That was good. Yeah, so if the purple monkey gets to about here, even if you're hitting him with the shurikens, he stops taking damage from them. It's very strange.
Oh.
So
I
you have
feel
to
like
be
I
on
normally
top of
see
it.
you have to chase him down a little bit, but
I've been known to mess that up on occasion.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
KK.
damn, I've seen you do that so many times I thought it was meant to be like that.
Hey, is this a good time to get in some announcements?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, are looking to get more involved with the GDQ community? You can join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the hotfix role to stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. You can use !Discord and Twitch chat for an invite and more info. Also, catch up on past hotfix shows, special events, and GDQ marathons over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with GDQ. And back to you, Spacey.
Yep, and then this is Shichi here.
I
space.
also wanted to apologize. Some of my explanation for what you're doing there, the monkeys, was a little. I missed a couple details. So just to people
right.
watching, just know it's very hard and very complex.
It looked very cool as well.
This is going to be messy. Because I have to
Hopefully,
loop them
unlike-
longer.
Hopefully, unlike the later Shichiman that we see, or one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just barely have enough Yasha here. So
And
I have to do a
Yasha
lot
is
of extra
the-
hits. There we go. Okay.
And Yasha is the damage.
The 25%. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and our confetti just ran out there. Fortunately, confetti lasts twice as long as Yasha. But yeah, dying, like making a small mistake on that, it costs you a lot because your buffs are about to run out and you don't have spare to rebuff. But it's fine. We did fine. So basically, there's certain types of enemies, the Shichimen and the Headless, that under normal circumstances, basically you're required to use confetti to do meaningful damage to them. So confetti does 20%, like it adds 20% health damage to every enemy, not just those. But yeah, you basically need it to do good damage to those types of enemies. So it's a valuable resource we're kind of going to have to conserve. I want to get a backstab animation here. Okay, that's fine. The backstab animation is just faster, but better to just kill him than let him get up. And then we're going to... This is fall damage cancel number 2 by stabbing a guy. Don't try that one at home. Just gonna kill all those guys. Oh yeah, we got Mortal Draw, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. That happened during the announcements. You want to talk about Mortal Draw?
Yes. So that's going to be our main tool for the rest of the run now that we have it. So at the beginning, you'll recall we didn't have a sword. Then we talked to a kid and we got a sword. Well, we found a second kid, a stronger kid who has a stronger sword. So now we have a stronger sword. And with that, we can do an attack called Mortal Draw. And there's what's probably a bug with Mortal Draw in particular. It's a strong attack in general, but if you jump into it, it does like a lot more damage. Basically, there's a skill like way later, like in the post game, that you can get called Empowered Mortal Draw that lets you charge up Mortal Draw. But for some reason, even without that skill, just by default, if you jump and do Mortal Draw, your first hit of Mortal Draw will do fully charged Empowered Mortal Draw damage. For some reason. And so that's exactly the modifier that you're getting there and how much, that's why you're doing more. But why it's coded that way, no one knows. They never patched this out, so it still works on current patch. It's a really, really strong skill. But so a lot of the rest of the run is going to be, like, I don't know why I did that grapple. A lot of the rest of the run is going to be us finding ways to spam that as much as possible. Now in the bottom right, we have our Spirit Emblem count there, which says 17. Each Mortal Draw is going to take us 3 of those. And so there's a limit to like how many we can spam before we have to refill our Spirit Emblems. And then we've got this Tonto as well, which is going to let us sacrifice half of our current HP. Our current max HP, I should say, in order to get 5, like, basically like blood emblems. Like, think of them like blood bullets from Bloodborne. But here I'm going to buffer crouch out of that grapple so that she can't see me here, this other Snake Eyes. So let me start that. I'm kind of going to space away from her here. There we go. And then jump, Mortal Draw. And then I can, like, kind of just back away from her to go over her swing there. So you can kind of just buffer jump out of your Mortal Draw and then just, you kind of react to what she does, and you can cover every option she can do to get consistent jumping Mortal Draws off there. It's kind of tricky to get. I'll go for, this looks like a good cycle. I'll go for top route. All right. We took 1 bullet there. That's fine. So top route's 5 seconds faster. It's much riskier. I normally wouldn't go for it, but that, or I would in like PB attempts always, but normally wouldn't in a marathon run. But that looked like a good cycle, so I went for it. We got hit once, but.
How many different cycles are there?
It's not just, it's a little bit more complicated than that, than just like specific ones. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I had to count. This is the giraffe, by the way. See in the top left.
Yeah. This one looks more like a giraffe shirt.
Yeah. So that's why you can see in the top
it.
left corner it says Spacey was correct.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading from that. But we can use a pellet here to get some backup health. There we go. All right, anyway, sorry. Yeah, so it's just like, you want to make sure that, like, you want to manage your camera because, like, how you move your camera affects how enemies, like, aggro and behave in this game. So you want to make sure especially the gunman, it's really relevant. There's, like, a couple places where it kind of matters, but there is really important. And it's not like you manip a specific cycle with your camera movement. It's more like, if you always move your camera the same, you'll always have, like, a set of cycles at least. Because it affects like when they're going to aggro, and then once they're all aggro, they all have like slight variations in their fire rates. So it's like there's like a range of cycles depending on when the gunmen fire. And so like I say this looks like a good cycle. There's like one gunman in particular that I'm watching because the real fear with Top Route Gunfort is if I get shot right before I get that first grapple, that bullet will kill all my momentum, and it will also put me in a health range where I will instantly die if I fall off, basically. You grab this actually for safety. And yeah, and then I would have to, like in a real run, you have to run back minutes. So
yeah,
that's the real fear.
I've seen so many runs die on Gunfort, so
yeah,
I know it can be rough.
And this is Ape here. So Ape also has a weak spot on his head, so I'm trying to free aim my mortal draws to get maximum damage here. There's like a lot of, that was a really bad hit, that last one, but there's a lot of variation in the cycle you can get and make it work. But if you do it perfectly, oh, I forgot to Tonto. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so we have to improvise this. We have like not anywhere near the damage we're supposed to. My bad. I forgot. I healed because I had to heal, but I forgot to actually Tonto.
Oh, what's the difference between Tontoing earlier versus later?
I needed to do it twice, and since I didn't do it before, I can't do it now.
Yeah.
I forgot. I can't do that because it won't stagger him. Okay. Maybe this will kill anyway, though.
No!
Okay, we got it.
Oh, that was
my bad. I only got one, so I only got one mortal draw worth of damage there.
Oh,
but it's fine.
Defeat.
Oh yeah, another giraffe.
Yeah, another giraffe down.
Because it comes out of his neck, and then it's like a giraffe. You know, it's a metaphor or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Wow. KK has a wow that is legendary to me specifically. I always think of it.
It sounded like you were making fun of me there.
I know, that's why I was like, well, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it in a loving way, of course. Anyway, so now if you liked Ape, how about Ape again, but more this time? So now we have double Ape here. This one's actually easier, I would say, generally speaking. In a weird spot here, though. Okay, now we're good. Yeah, so same thing. I'm aiming for his neck hole here. That's his weak spot in phase 2. And then you may or may not notice there's a second ape. You don't have to kill the second ape, though. If you kill the first ape, she'll generally just kind of peace out. Sometimes she'll bug, and she'll just like keep dropping over and over, and that's like pretty wicked, honestly. But no, we didn't get the bug. She's just going to peace out over there.
Bug, I get it.
Yeah, there's a cool bug where she'll just keep dropping, or I'm sorry, there's a cool giraffe where she'll just keep dropping over and over and then teleporting up to the top and then dropping again. It's pretty sick.
What's up with the other monkey just leaving?
They just didn't want you to have to kill both of them, I guess. I don't know,
okay.
like, yeah.
I wish I knew that casually.
Yeah. Yeah, that fight, if you have to do it like as intended, it's like there is like a logic to that fight. It's not like was no thought put into it, but the default cycle, if you have like low damage and you can't just spam kill the boss ape, it's like I don't know. It's really tedious, but yeah, I don't know. Check out the challenge run I did on Regal's show earlier if you want to see like a longer version of that fight where you actually have to deal with more attacks and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's an interesting fight.
I remember when this game first came out, people were pretty scared of that fight, but it's like not even that big of a deal for runners nowadays.
Yeah, definitely with Mortal Draw. Okay, so here I'm doing a bump strat as well. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. You're like hitting him with your knee to stagger him, right?
Yep, basically. But
Yeah.
so you can only do that when you're in certain animations and the boss is in certain animations, basically. But fortunately, our Mortal Draw animation works, and like pretty much all of his attacks there, you can like he doesn't hyper armor through with any of the things that he might do. Okay, so now this is a reverse Genny here, where we're going to come out of the normal swim hole instead of going into it. So I have to go up through this floor and then like out through here. There we go. And now we're coming up to Owl. So for Owl, I'm basically just going to be reacting to what he does. So we used to cheese this fight, but it's actually faster with Mortal Draw plus Yasha to not cheese him. This fight looks really cool, but it's fairly difficult, and I have to like pay attention and react to what he's doing. So I'm going to Yasha. If he doesn't do anything, I can crack, or there we go, jump to the side. He's screwing around. Okay, thank you. Okay, that was the slow phase one. We've got extra emblems, so we don't need extra emblems. There's like a lot of attacks you can punish, but too early. Okay, well that's lucky at least.
Right, so basically he has Spacey taunted at the beginning of the phase 2, which is sacrificing his health in exchange for blood emblems. And then he's just going to try and maneuver Al towards the exit. If Al uses his smoke bomb, which he is, Spacey will try and take advantage of it to get a double mortal draw.
Okay. I should have just Mortal Draw there. I thought I could kill him. It's fine. I was stuck in the corner there. I messed up the phase transition a lot, honestly, though, so that's on me. But we had enough to finish him.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just like my Yasha ran out really early too. That was an unfortunate phase 1, and then I messed up the transition basically. But it's fine.
Was the issue with his phase 1? I don't know if this is normal, but I noticed he was like jumping back a lot.
Yeah, exactly. You need, there's like a lot of different attacks that you can punish, but then there's like a few that you can't consistently. And like the jump back shuriken throw like that is one of them that you just like, there's not like a consistent punish for it. You have to follow him, and then like he should do something punishable right after that, but he just like, yeah, repeatedly didn't, unfortunately. Okay, but we can take our break. I'm gonna do a quit out here to warp Emma here right now, so we can take our break here.
Sure, sounds good. Okay. Well, before we take our break, I just want to thank everybody for supporting GDQ Hotfix with your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits. Your contributions help keep our shows running. If you're enjoying the stream, consider subscribing for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to chat during replays. You can also always support the stream by sharing the Games Done Quick channel with your friends. Okay. We are going to go on a few minutes break here, though. Just take a pause in the run. So if you want to take care of yourself by getting up and using the bathroom, or getting a stretch, or just getting some food for yourself, a snack, we'll be right back in just a few minutes to finish out the rest of the run. So stay right there. We'll be back. Hey, y'all, welcome back. We are here with Spacey, L1, and KK, Counter Kitty, doing a really, really cool Sekiro all bosses and mini bosses speedrun. We just came back from a break. Spacey, you want to go ahead and take it away for us and get the rest of the run going?
Yep, we will load back in 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're just doing some mandatory dialogue here. Fortunately, we can skip through the dialogue faster than you would casually. If you have subtitles off, then you can cancel the dialogue by hitting the start button instead of mashing through it, and it will count that dialogue as read. So, like, to route it efficiently, you still kind of have to know, like, which sections like, what constitutes a section of dialogue, basically. It's complicated, but I won't get too much into it. But I'm doing a mix of mashing through dialogue and start canceling, basically. But over the course of the whole run, it saves like a minute just on dialogue.
Yeah, so. I remember when that was found, and everybody was like searching all the other Souls games to be like, "Can you do this?" and then in these other games, I think it only works on Sekiro, though.
Yeah, I was sad that it didn't work on, like, especially Elden Ring. It would be nice because man,
yeah, because you can't really mash through the stuff as much.
Exactly. Yeah, that frustrates me so much. Honestly,
yeah, it is annoying. Mm-hmm.
All right, but now we head to Fountainhead. Fountainhead is a really difficult section of the run. We got some cool tricks here, including Shichi, the infamous Shichi.
Woo!
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes today. We're going to run up and get teleported to Fountainhead here. On the Rope Man.
The Rope Man.
Yeah, look at him. He's dabbing. Dabbing for us.
I always forget about this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like huge. It's gigantic.
There we go. All right, so this is the one that has an intended phase 2 skip. I messed it up. But that intended phase 2 skip is not only going to let us do the intended phase 2 skip and also let us skip all of Corrupted Monk, it's also going to let us do an unintended phase 1 skip, which is very difficult. So she's there. We got to enter the arena from the side again so she doesn't aggro. And then... No, I was too far. So you can kind of see I'm like bouncing off of her invisible body there. Yeah. So like visually she jumps in, but she's actually there already and she's just hidden. So we can death blow her already. But it's very difficult to do.
See, this is one of those things like that I've not seen you really mess up before, so I didn't know that's specifically how that works.
I tried to quit out too fast and messed it up. Yeah, I don't... Usually, this is like a very streaky... This and Shichi, honestly, because they're very similar skips, actually, in terms of the way they work mechanically. Mm-hmm. Where you're getting a death blow that you're not intended to be able to get. And so it's like... It's very finicky because there's like a lot of different ways you can get it, but they're all fairly precise, so it's like... Can make it very hard to understand, like, why you're missing it when you're missing it. This kind of just isn't, it's like not feeling right to me. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing incorrectly, but I'm like at the wrong angle. Or I'm like jumping too far. If I miss it again, it's lizard fact time, KK.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we got it.
Oh, there we go. We can still get a lizard fact in, honestly.
And then this is the intended phase 2 skip.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I step here. Akko's. This is new, Regal.
Okay.
Oh, early. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jump through. Jump through. Dodge. Mortal draw. And then I missed the first mortal draw. So
Yeah.
But yeah. Actually, you probably saw that in the challenge run. I think that was in the challenge run, but...
Maybe.
Yeah, the jumping through that is pretty difficult. But you get like a little bit of intangibility basically when you're jumping. Like when you're in that jump squat, especially when you're like jumping to the side. And that's what we're making use of there.
Wow. Jump squats mentioned.
Yeah. Any smashers?
Yeah, I know.
I definitely weirdly do that. I'm not great at Smash, but like I watch it a lot, so weirdly will describe things in this game via Smash terms sometimes. But yeah. So we're not supposed to be able to swim this way. We're supposed to die to the lightning, but you do 3 strokes there. You take like half a beat and then dive and then swim forward. And then he'll just miss you with the rest because of the way the lightning cycle works. And then this fish also is supposed to be, like, you're supposed to sneak past the fish, but if you just kind of take this path here, he just doesn't have like a line of attack that'll hit you because he only has like specific scripted attack animations, kind of like the snake. So as long as you just don't go where he can hit you, you just swim past him.
I feel like that saves so much time just doing that like lightning skip there.
Yeah, it was found pretty early, but otherwise you have to go all the way around to the left.
Yeah.
It's like really, really slow. But now we're going to start Chi-Chi. KK, you can go ahead and start the explanation.
So you guys have heard Chi-Chi be mentioned a few times already. Hopefully it's not going to be a big deal, but we've got a finicky skip coming up called the Chi-Chi skip because we are skipping on a Chi-Chi. Basically, every enemy in this game has a distance in which they'll deload and another range at which they'll de-aggro and recover all their health. The Chi-Chi men enemies specifically have a really large aggro range, so you can deload them without causing them to recover their health, which is what Spacey will be abusing here. He's gonna initiate a death blow on this guy right before he hits the ground, which will cause him to get the death blow and simultaneously warp him back to the top of that building. This prevents Chi-Chi from aggroing, so Spacey can initiate the rest of the skip from a lower platform and get another death blow to finish the fight without having to use the confetti buff that he normally would. But we're gonna do this a few times. Did he get the when you had to reset the area there?
Yeah.
I know that sometimes you have to reset the area, but it's
You run out of health.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah, because you only have so much health. Like I'm taking damage every time I fall, so that's why I can heal it off like once or twice, depending on if I had to use my backup pellets already.
Okay. Oh,
So that's
right,
what it is.
I was thinking, I know sometimes if you get it on the first attempt, you have to like hit the ground and reset to get the Chi-Chi to de-aggro.
Yeah, we don't know why. We don't know why that happens. But yeah, it's the first attempt on each reload. So we could talk about it if it happens. But lizard fact time.
Yeah. Did you know the tiniest known reptile is a nanochameleon, and it's no bigger than a sunflower seed?
Wow, that's extremely small.
How did anyone
Yes.
find it?
Yeah, I know.
It's
pop
and
it
it's
like
a
a pill.
chameleon.
Oh, and I have also a chameleon fact, that although the color changing in chameleons actually does have functions and camouflage, it's most commonly used as a social signaling and like in reactions to temperature and other conditions.
That's
Saying the chameleon.
extremely
Yeah.
interesting.
The chameleon
Thank
has
you so much.
conditions. You're saying, KK? That's an inside joke. Sorry. Yeah, this is pretty bad. It's sad. I've been doing better at this in runs, but this skip be like
Is it
sometimes.
just really precise timing on the
There it
R1?
is.
Ooh, nice. There you
Hey,
go.
No, I'm doing a buffer. Okay, now I have to splat because the health bar. Yeah, so I had to do an extra splat, but that's not like a big deal. So we wait and then do that and then bop and then there we go. Okay, that could have been worse, honestly. No, so we have like that mortal draw that I'm doing. That's a buffer to make sure I can mash the input. It's just like the angle. But like I said, it's weird because there's like a lot of different angles that work, but they're all like fairly precise. So it's
I see. So you're buffering that input. But
yeah, the R1.
You
So
have to
that's
land
not the
just
hard part.
right.
Dan is
Yeah.
actually the one who found the buffer for that.
Yeah, that makes
To be
sense.
But yeah, it's still like the positioning is still really specific. Okay. There we go.
the way you destroy that guy and then his corpse like falls off the branch.
Yeah.
With this like money falling out of his pockets.
Yeah. Fortunately, we don't need that money in this route. That used to be a thing. You had to be kind of quick about it, but
Oh,
Like, it's not a big deal, but like, yeah. But no, we don't need any money in this route anymore.
Why is that?
Well, we used to buy confetti. We used to have to buy confetti, but the fact that you kill this Shichiman without using confetti means you only need the 6 that you can pick up, basically.
Oh.
So that's why. And then yeah, we go underwater and kill that headless. So you don't actually need confetti to do damage to that headless, but you still get a damage buff on top of the normal one from having confetti. And we need to use a Gotchin stealth sugar there to not get harassed by the twin that's like launching stuff at you as you do that. And so that's why we use confetti on that headless anyway. And then Bull here. So you can do a death blow from above on Bull there, but it only does like 40% of its health or something in damage. But instead you can also drop down behind Bull and then Firecracker. And if you Firecracker Bull when Bull's not aggroed to you, then he'll go into that death charge immediately, and then you just have to kite him into a wall. So that's why I hit him once, so that to make sure that he was like following me, and then I led him over to that wall so that he would die expediently. Oh, we're almost into late game now. We've just got a bit more dialogue to do. Did you have more announcements, Regal?
Yeah, is this a good time?
It is.
To do some more?
Be advancing
All
some
right.
stuff.
So, are you curious what's coming up on Hotfix? Check out this week's schedule and explore our full season lineup at gdq.gg/hotfix. Also, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, July 6th to the 13th. If you're interested in attending, make sure to register for the event by May 26th, so that's coming up pretty soon. Use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more info. And back to you, Spacey, with the dialogue that you're skipping through.
Yeah, we get to quit out. I love quitting out.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do is quit playing the game. Classic
Big day.
speedrunners.
Big day for quitting out fans.
And I keep trying to do that. So there's like a little aggro chain that saves like 2 seconds in-game time here that I normally do. That's pretty cool, but like, you know, it is obviously a lot slower RTA. So we're just going to pick this up. We shouldn't need this Gotchin, but we have it as a backup now if we do need it. But there's no reason for me to do the aggro chain that would actually lose us RTA here. So I'm going to just hop up there. We get to do that parkour, which is cool instead. It's like a little faster than running around. And then we got one more underwater headless, so here we have a Yasha to spare, and Yasha is going to boost our damage more than the confetti would, even if we had spare confetti. So this is where it's relevant, like I said, that you don't actually need Yasha, or you don't need confetti to do damage to underwater headless. There's like a logical lore reason for that. The confetti is confetti that's like blessed in the fountainhead waters, and the water in the game is like runs downstream from the fountainhead. So it kind of makes sense that they'd be vulnerable anyway, but I kind of think they just didn't want to make an animation for you using confetti underwater, so they just made that choice.
I respect it. I think it's kind of a cool reason.
Yeah, there's some justification. We run around behind this guy. He's got dogs over there, so we ran up over the ceiling so that the dogs would not get involved.
He's got dogs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. The friend that I'm staying with also has two dogs that are also very cool. Just want everyone to know that.
Yeah, but you're probably not
them, so you don't have to fight them, I say.
Yeah, I haven't had to fight them the entire time that I've been here. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be as thrilled about letting me stay here if I was fighting his dogs constantly, so. Anyway. We got one more headless over here. So here, this is, I think, our first land headless, actually, in this route.
Yeah, I think so.
But so for land headless these days, we're mostly going to be, like, just kind of circling them. You get behind them, they'll just, like, turn like this.
Man, the headless look kind of sick underwater. On land.
Yeah, not as excited about them on land. I feel like most people do not like this enemy.
No, like I said, this was the reason that this category did not exist early on. If people wanted a category that was like all bosses, but they did not want to have to fight headless, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is just like one of those bosses.
Do you think they're more or less fun to fight in the water?
I think they're easier. They just have a simpler moveset in the water, but like also your underwater movement is more awkward. So like, people definitely have different opinions, but the underwater headless don't have the same problem that the land ones do. The land ones, their hitboxes and their like collision is just so strange. Like, especially in a lot of the arenas where you have to fight them, there's like stuff where you might get pushed up against a wall or into an object, and then like you'll be blocking or parrying, and they'll like clip through you and dead angle you basically because they like clip into you because they're too close and their like attacks are so stretchy. And they have a lot of, because they have like very slow, like they're supposed to look like kind of ghostly and ethereal. Like I get it. It looks cool. But it also means they have a lot of things where they're just like moving very slowly and then suddenly they have a hitbox and that just breaks a lot of things.
Yikes.
So.
Question, why did he go around the hut and then like peep at Emma to die?
So we've been doing a secret quest like this whole time that we need to access one of the full bosses, which also has like 2 extra mini bosses. So that is for the purification ending. We have to go eavesdrop on Emma and sculpture there. But that was the last thing we had to do. We got that bell from Emma. So we now are good on the secret quest here. We just have to continue on the game now. Basically, all the extra dialogue we had to do there was for that purpose.
Okay. Now you're just hanging out with a bunch of old guys.
Yeah, we gotta clear out the old guys so we can fight Dragon, which is a kind of lizard, I think. This one is not micro, though. This is a huge sunflower seed, you could say.
Yeah.
Macro chameleon.
So this is a very cycle-based fight. We'll see what attack and which branch we get the lightning on here. I'm gonna buff immediately. That's a bad attack. That's the worst combination. Let's go.
I feel like that's sort of a pattern we've been getting this run.
Maybe a little bit. I got monkeys. That's cool.
You got monkeys.
Whoa. Come on, that was my bad. So, okay. This is gonna be really awkward. Oh, why did that? Okay. I thought it spawned over there. Don't kill me, please. Wow, okay. Well, now we just have to redo the whole fight. So maybe we'll get a better pattern there.
It's like the game name.
Game over, yeah. That's a really unusual death.
Well, it's you're contractually obligated to die on the Game Over show.
Okay, so that doesn't cause any problems because all the resources we used are refillable. That is the worst combination, but I also messed up the, like, you shouldn't die to the worst combination, you should just lose time, but there are worse places to die, I suppose.
You're just trying to hog more time on GDQ.
Yeah.
So, what is the reason for trying to deal damage to the dragon, like, with just normal melee, rather than doing like the lightning bolt strat? Like,
so the lightning bolts only spawn every like, I forget if it's 15 or like 20. It's like, depending on how you count, it's like between 15 and 20. It's like 18 seconds or something, I forget. But those only spawn so often, basically. And so we save lightning cycles by getting extra damage in.
Okay. So you can deal enough damage with your melee attacks to skip a lightning cycle.
Yeah, you skip several, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. I would imagine that you wouldn't deal enough damage, but...
With a Yasha and a Mortal Draw. So this is the opposite. Okay. So this is the same attack, but because the lightning spawned on the opposite side, we can immediately grapple, and we won't get hit by his attack there, because we're opposite his sword arm. But then he did this, which is bad. He wouldn't normally be able to do that. And he's... Why is he tripling again, man? Okay. But this is like a re-aggro, so his patterns might be different because it's a re-aggro as well. Unfortunately. He's spamming triple. Okay, that's fine. We get to...
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. Wow, I actually never really paid attention to how much you do on that. Yeah.
Yeah, will that do it? Yeah, okay, that will. Okay. So yeah, his pattern, like, I think he might just be able to do different things. He shouldn't be able to do the wind there in, like, your first fight, basically. But honestly, all bets are kind of off in cases like that. The way that RNG works in, like... So, like, a lot of the older FromSoft games, the RNG is basically just, where are you in relation to the boss, kind of? Like, are you far away or close? And then, like, just completely random. It's why in, like, the older games, like DS1 and stuff, you'll see bosses repeat attacks a lot more. Whereas in the modern games, like, the way the RNG works has gotten more complicated. Like, they tend not to repeat most attacks as much. They tend to more cycle through their attacks. There's, like, lots of stuff like that. There's some cases in this game where it's like, it seems like bosses will do different patterns depending on how much room they have behind them and, like, complicated stuff like that. But yeah, without getting too much into the weeds of specific examples I could name, the fact that this is a refight is enough that we can get different patterns like that would not normally be possible on the first fight. Oh, I forgot to do the thing. Oh well.
I was waiting.
Yeah, my bad. You can clip, I forgot because I died. You can clip your camera into Dragon's head there and you can see his eyeballs. But only during a specific part of his death animation. So you have to, like, be on top of it. It's not faster, it's just funny.
And then Spacey always goes like bulls, and the crowd goes absolutely insane.
Yeah. All right, so now we're in late game, which is cool. We're going to do a little air swim here. This is one that, like I said, doesn't save much time. Nice, okay, we got it. But it's also not very hard. But it saves, like, it's like getting it first try is like 8 seconds, I think, that you save. Or no, it's 6. It's like 6. You save 6 over not getting it at all. If you try it and then fail it, and then go the normal way, you lose 8 seconds. That's what it is. Oh. So yeah. But it's fun. You have a nice little scenic swim through here. Oh, so normally, like, we're not, like, over-leveled in this run because just the way that the leveling system works in this game, it's hard to be over-leveled for the most part, but, this is the one exception. We're super over-leveled. We're just gonna one-tap this guy. So I'm just trying to get good death animations here. That's literally all I'm trying. There we go. Okay, so that was a bad first phase, but a good second phase. You want to kill him in second phase with a backstab, because it's really fast. But if you finish first phase with a backstab, it takes him forever to get back up. So that's why you don't want to do that one. And he tried to give me his back there, which would have been slower. Then we got to go talk to Dad here. So yeah, this one particular section, we're going to just be bullying things through sheer levels. Because this is kind of meant to be an early game detour, but it is completely optional, so we save it for later. A little late jump there.
Nice. I kind of like speedruns where you're so clearly overleveled that you're just destroying everything.
DS2 RBO, anybody? That's maybe an egregious example, though. I love DS2 RBO.
That is not a very normal speedrun.
Yeah. I like the RVO everybody, as if most people are familiar with that, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, shoutouts to Nubist, honestly. Okay, so here we have Headless. Or, sorry, not Headless. Drunkard. He's kind of shaped like a Headless, you know? Same vibe.
Aw. That's so mean.
There we
I mean,
go.
he's about to kill him. That's even more mean, honestly.
Arguably.
Oh yeah, you're kicking all those worlds down.
So I'm just trying to cleave the guards down there. There we go. So what I did there, you can only have one sugar active at a time. But what you can do is you can use a stealth sugar, get up behind him, then use a damage sugar, and then immediately backstab him before he aggroes. And that's what we do here to like kind of effectively get the effect of both sugars. And there I walked slightly to the left so that that archer aggroes like a little bit earlier than he would if you take like the perfect line. And that causes him to back out of the doorway there. Otherwise you have to like jump past him or hit him or something. So this is Butterfly. Like I said, we're super over leveled. However, the strat for phase 2 here is actually pretty tricky. So when we get there, I'm gonna let KK just explain that. Because that's phase 1. So take it away.
So Spacey's gonna position himself and time his mortal draw very specifically. It needs to hit her right as she lands so that she takes full damage but still has hyper armor, so she won't stagger. This will let him immediately hit her with another full damage mortal draw and then another jumping one towards her as she steps back to finish the fight.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, that first jump is just like pretty difficult to time. There's not even like an obvious visual or audio cue. It's like I'm watching the position of her knees like as she's preparing to jump, but it's not like it's hard for me to explain what I'm looking for other than just I come to memorize the movement of her knees and her jump animation. Yeah. A lot of speedrunning is becoming weirdly familiar with specific floor textures and animations and things like
yes.
that.
I honestly prefer the more vague you are about it. Don't describe why you're looking at knees. We don't need to know.
My bad. Yeah, that's
I've become very familiar with a couple of rocks in Dark Souls 1.
That's the funny thing when you're learning like Souls skips as well. A lot of the time, it's like you start a skip and you're like I don't know this floor yet. I'm not yet acquainted. I can't learn the skip yet.
And then you have to teach someone line up, and it's like, oh, there's 3 white pieces of dirt on the ground.
Yes,
and you want to line up the first one.
There's a couple of dots right here. You need to line this dot up with this dot, and then
you haven't met any of these dots yet, but you will become intimately familiar with them. They'll become your best friends. Into the hole. So now we're gonna go kill Demon of Hatred. So this cheese that we do here is like way better than the old way because it's no RNG. But we're going to be doing some swims, so we're going to do a quit out here so the game doesn't get angry. This loads in Demon of Hatred's arena here. So if I went like slightly too far to the left there, the game would have killed me. If I went too high as I was going into the arena, the game would have killed me, etc. You get the idea. It's not like I don't want to be too dramatic about it. Like once you've learned the arena, like once you've learned the out of bounds like geography, it's kind of like what we were talking about with the little like the dots or the rocks. It's like the same thing. You have to become very familiar with the out of bounds geography so that you can navigate under things that are not loaded and with a bunch of invisible structures that will kill you if you accidentally brush them. So this is a good example here. So we put out there to de-aggro the guards as well. So this is a good example here. So I have to go under here. So now I go like through this white part here, and then I have to go left in like a U shape to get around some collision that will kill me into this water here. You can see I have to go over to the right here. You can see like the horseshoe kind of shape. And now we're fairly safe. I just need to not go too high here. If I kind of touch the floor there, I'll die. And then he follows us.
I can see him falling. Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen this.
And then he runs into a kill box there. And so now we can swim directly from here to Ishin. So nothing about Ishin is going to be glitched or cheesed. It's just like a faster way to get to him. But normally, like I have to swim around a kill box here as well. That's why I'm going out to the left here. But yeah, normally, like you get these items called memories from bosses that let you increase your damage. But since we go straight from Demon of Hatred to Ishin, we have less damage than we used to before this route. So this fight is like a little bit harder than it used to be. Buff, jump, double mortal draw. See what he does. It's pretty good pattern. It doesn't matter too much though. Okay, good. Next phase. See what his opener is.
I'm so glad that there's not really glitches for this fight because just seeing people fight Ishin and know what they're doing is so impressive.
Yeah.
It's too early on that. Stupid.
This is arguably like the best boss in like all of modern FromSoft games.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's my favorite.
yeah.
There we go. Okay, that was that. It was that attack. I just had the wrong tempo on for some reason. Oh. Whoops. It's fine. For some reason, I just like did the wrong thing entirely. We're like casualing this now. Dude. Why is my brain not working? It's fine. We have enough health for the lightning though now.
Okay, all these stats are scripted.
This should be fine. We have no Yasha now though.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's not enough damage to kill now. Okay.
Nice.
Drama or something.
Does he always go straight into the lightning attack on third?
If you position correctly, you can, depending on where he's at, sometimes he'll just AFK and not do anything, which is really, really bad in the run. Ugh. So, not clean, but it's fine. It's actually really, really bad to die there as well. You lose like a lot of time and you waste resources, so that would have been a very frightening place to die.
It would have, but
Would
you
have
didn't.
been. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, remember I said we were doing the secret ending? That secret ending would let us spare Kuro's life, but we haven't done it yet, so we have to kill him here. Because we have to trigger the credits, but we don't have to trigger the credits at the end. We just have to trigger them at some point. Unfortunately for Kuro, routing dictates that he dies, even though we do everything we would need to do to save him. It's a little bit awkward.
Yeah. That is unlucky, honestly.
Yeah, that didn't used to be
too
the
bad.
case. Yeah. I used to like waste like a frame sometimes to like
Yeah.
way back in the day, waste a frame to do the good ending. Just to
Aw.
go down one input. But
And now you're evil.
now I'm evil. I have no choice. 1, 2, I want her to jump away here like that. Firecracker, jump behind. Lets me finish phase 1 with a backstab so she gets up faster. Same cycle here, ideally. Please jump back, thank you. That's Orin. So we're over leveled for that one a bit as well, because Orin takes forever to kill otherwise, because she loves to like kind of be invulnerable and do jump backs otherwise. It's her favorite thing. To be fair, I would probably just do the invulnerable twirl all the time if I had the option. Like just in real life, I'd just be twirling all over. Invulnerable twirl and quitting out. Those would be my bread and butter if those were things I could do in real life. Holy.
I would love a quit out.
When you cat sitting on your lap and you can't get up, you just quit out to reset it.
That's literally me right now. That's why I couldn't take a break. Can't disturb the cat. So this, he has different things he can do, but I'm like doing the same things either way. Yeah, so I want to make sure I finish phase 1 in a specific spot so that he'll try to jump back to call the dogs. That's that guy's thing. He's trying to call his dogs, but we just don't let him. And then that lets us do like that double punish there as he's jumping back.
That's good. You don't want them to get involved.
Yeah, no. They can stay safe. So this is what I was talking about here, where we can use a quit out to cheese a death blow. So 1, 2, 3. Pop. Kill the ads here. 3. And then quit out. And then I made sure I did my positioning so that it saved me just behind Drunkard. Instead of like, in a place where I would be in his line of sight. So we load back in, I can buff immediately. And start the fight with a backstab. Best of both worlds. Double mortal draw, react to what he does. Nice. So depending on what he does, sometimes you have the Firecracker there, and if you have to use Firecrackers, that's 2 extra emblems you have to use, so you also have the Tonto after. So it's faster if he does something like that, where you can just dodge and punish, or jump and punish immediately.
I know there's a drunkard later.
There's one more.
Yeah. Where he tends not to, like, sometimes not do anything, and it's an issue. Is that the same with that guy? Or?
No. Because you can just Firecracker. It's like he can, like, if he doesn't pick an attack, then you just Firecracker.
Okay.
So, like, he has, like, basically the same AI, but it doesn't matter as much.
Sorry to ask you a question while you're fighting your dad.
Oh, yeah, no, it's cool. Dad and I fight all the time.
Oh.
Good luck finding a time to ask me a question when I'm not fighting with Dad. I don't know. But yeah, that was the second owl, by the way. Jumping and getting dead angles with the mortal draw, basically, with specific attacks. Now I have to wait for him to say his piece here before we can warp out.
He always has to get the final word, huh?
Yeah, classic Dad. Oh, I sat too early as well.
Oh, the memory gets as foster father?
Wow. Imagine that's how you
Yeah.
found out.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean foster father? What?
Oh, and now he's dead too, so.
Oh,
great.
yeah. It's great. All right, so... Oh, yeah. Kike.
Oh, yeah. For this fight, as well as, I believe, the rest of the fights of the run, we're using a different combat art from the Mortal Draw, and it's called Dragon Flash. While this does less damage than Mortal Draw, it's done with Sekiro's main sword rather than his Mortal Blade. This means that the damage buff that's usually on Shichiman and headless enemies, such as this one, can be applicable during this combat art, unlike Mortal Draw, meaning that it's better for fighting those enemies. The next mini-boss we fight will also be using Dragon Flash, and it is slow on him, but it's actually faster to just do it like this than it is to actually swap back and forth.
Yep. Yeah, we will actually briefly switch back to Mortal Draw at one point for, like, a couple fights, yeah. In between
God damn it.
headless, yeah.
My notes had a question mark next to rest of the fights in this run, and I was like, well, I'll just run with it.
But yeah, here it would be slow to switch back, and we're fighting a Shichi right after this, so we'll just Dragon Flash him. It's fine. Yeah, so your main sword that we got from the weaker child at the beginning is Kusabimaru, and then the second sword we got from the alpha child is Fushigiri in Japanese. At least the Fushigiri is what they translate as Mortal Blade. Technically, the sword has a true name that I don't know how to say in Japanese, which is the Gracious Gift of Tears, but. Yeah, I don't know how to say that one in Japanese. I should learn it, though.
It would be very impressive.
Yeah. And so this Shichi is much easier. We're just going to Yasha and Confetti. Run up. I do a Shuriken there just to aggro him out of that attack. Because when he's in that attack animation, it takes him longer to aggro on me, and that actually means he's like recovering posture, like passively as I'm hitting him. And it makes it take an entire extra hit to kill him if I let him do that. So that Shuriken there saves a hit, basically, despite it doing like no visible damage. Which is pretty cool. Okay, now we've got the last like hard thing of the run. This is a door skip, where we're gonna skip a door by doing some pretty difficult parkour.
I love when a skip name just really checks out.
Well, some people call it double door skip because they're double doors, and I'm like, I don't know. That's a bit much to me, but a bit ostentatious, I think, from my perspective. But just old-fashioned like that.
Gosh.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh.
And
Nice.
then head.
No?
Okay. No, we backed it up. We did all right. No, I forgot something. Okay, that's fine. I forgot to switch back to Mortal Draw. I almost made KK correct. Okay.
I would
I do
have
that
liked to be
sometimes.
correct, you know?
Okay. And then we aggro chain back up to the top. So we're going to keep like one more time. We're going to go kill a boss and then warp back up to the top. This section makes me feel like Batman because we get to keep descending down from the tower to kill things.
Oh,
It's pretty sick. If I do say so myself. Drop down here. So we got an extra ogre to kill down here.
as you do.
As you do. I'm going to try to cleave down both of the ads as well. Which can be kind of difficult because they move in different patterns. Like, each time. That's fine. And then just 3 more. 1, 2, and then a grounded one because I don't need a full jumping one. This is going to be like right at estimate, so that's fine.
Ooh.
Based on my timer anyway, my RTA timer. It's been an adventure, but you know what? I got to spend more time among close friends, so.
That's right.
The real boss, and you know what? I'm not gonna. You know what I was gonna say. We've all had enough of that joke for one lifetime, I think.
The problem is, I don't know what joke.
The real bosses.
Oh,
and
no,
mini
no, you're
bosses
right,
were
you're right, never mind.
Yeah. Cool.
The real boss was the foster fathers.
We stabbed along the way. I don't know. It's different. It's new. You know.
Fresh take.
It's fresh. Yeah. Anyway. Double mortal draw. So yeah, we're just like going through Ashina Castle now, and thank you.
What does he have red eyes?
Because that's a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
It means he's consumed the rejuvenating sediment, which means he's like kind of crazed and enraged, but also like more durable, basically.
That's all right. We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all had a little bit too much sediment, been a little bit too rejuvenated. So here's another example where I'm looking down because I want this gunman up there to start his gun cycle in a specific place so that I don't get shot by him. And over here, jump. So this is Shigekichi.
Oh, one last drunkard.
Yeah. The fire drunkard.
My understanding of this guy is he can't be attacked from the front, so you want him to just move around. Is that right?
Yeah, so you can pull his armor off with the spear if we had the spear, which we used to have the spear, but yeah, we don't grab the spear anymore, so you just want to jump behind him. But if he's not doing anything, then if you try to jump behind him, he'll just keep like turning to face you. So that's why we need him to do attacks, so that we can mortal draw him from behind. I played it really safe there. I could have killed him earlier, but at this point, it's like we'll be underestimate just barely if we don't die. So I'm just gonna like just make sure I kill everything.
It'd
And
be
then
really
we've got-
if he had to take off his armor, we'll see.
Yeah, you used to actually take off his armor and bait him into an explosion. It was like super cool, but it was like,
But no, this sounds really mean.
well, yeah, it was also finicky. Like, I'm glad this way's better. Okay, no fast opener for this fight. That's fine. So this is the final boss here that we do in the run.
How impressive. It's a headless.
Another headless, yeah. And then Dragon Flash, R1 Dragon Flash. And then time is when I quit out here normally. All right.
Nice. Great run.
We did it.
Spacey.
No, we got through. Yeah, you know, underestimate and everything. I'm okay with that. I had a great time, everybody. And we learned so much about lizards along the way.
We did a whole lot about lizards and giraffes.
Yes. Oh,
Can
so
I-
let
can
me. Oh, what was it?
I have one last lizard fact, and it's my favorite.
Okay.
Some lizards drop their tail when threatened by a predator, but can regenerate it back. And if that particular species of lizard stores lots of fat in its tail, it may return afterwards to eat it.
Nice. So let me just say, I'm like, my living situation's weird. So I'm like, I drove like several hours away to come to a friend's house, Haunter Noir in chat, if wanted to give him a shout out. So he does also stream. So if you want to give him a follow, definitely do that. He's a good guy, and really nice of him to let me stay here and do this show from here. Shout outs to KK, who's been really cool. Like, I don't know, we've been she's been really helpful to me as through a difficult time in my life, in addition to just being here. And she's an incredible streamer, really underrated. She makes all of her emotes and stuff herself. I love her stream, love hanging out in it. So please give her a follow. Definitely. And that's pretty much all I had to say. So can take us out, Regal.
Well, thanks for having us, Michael.
Yeah, thank you so much for that run. Thank you so much for being here, KK. That was a lot of fun to have you two on, especially you again for this, like having you on the second time, Spacey. Like it's amazing to see you play Sekiro. You're so good at it, man. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go to break and get ready for the next run. We have a Cuphead run by Grandius coming up just after this break. So stick around for some more speedrunning after this. All right, we'll be right back.